for a global TV audience of 500 billion is International King of Sports.
Across the globe come 24 awesome athletes, bodies at the peak of physical fitness, all ready to take part in a bunch of sports we just made up. Welcome to International King of Sports 2004.
From around the world they come, the South Africans, the Australians, a very strong British team this year. And among the events are some classic favourites, the under hurdles, association bobbage, the water jump, the speed gun run, and a few new events, including the awesome vertical leap.
Coming up in Heat 1, the 200 metres back sprint, men's individual fall down, endurance pool hang, the Tangi human slalom, and international skids.
So those are today's made-up sports, but who are today's real-life athletes competing for a place in the final? Let's take a look at the lineup, including last year's champion, Adam Horder.
My name's Adam Horder from Australia, and I'm back to seriously defend my title.
My name's Brian Clark, representing Great Britain. Last year I was the first British athlete ever to reach the final of International King of Sports. This year I want to go one better and win it.
I'm Rodrigo Perez from Brazil. I'm going to bring some rhythm all the way to England. My name is Malik Jevons. I'm from Savannah, Georgia, and representing the USA. I'm here for some unfinished business.
Well, I've been joined, as always, by former International King of Sport, Mark Robson. Mark, this is a really interesting heat because three familiar faces from last year all compete in. How do you think they're going to do?
Yeah, three finalists from last year, including the defending champion, the Dynamite Dingo, Adam Horder. Now, I've been training a little bit with him this summer. He's changed his approach to training, more endurance, fewer weights. He's lighter and leaner, but I think he's more subdued from speaking to him this morning because he realises the opposition is tougher. There's Brian Clark, Brian of Britain, who was fourth in, lovely fella, big fella, lovely smile, great teeth. Fourth in the final last year, but he suffered a ruptured anterior cruciate ligament in his knee last October. He's been rehabilitating, so will that stand up to the rigours of competition? We shall see.
Right, we have Brazilians represented this year. One of them's in this heat.
Yeah, Rodrigo Perez. He's light, he's agile, capoeira master, so he's great on the concentration front, and with so many events and so many gruelling events, he'll need all that concentration. And finally, Malik Jevons in the final last year, but he tore his hamstring. That devastated him. He's worked hard on getting fit for this year's event, and he'll be doubly determined.
Right, the important question, Mark. Your tip, who's going to win?
I think Adam Horder will get through this heat. He'll win this heat. He says he wants to win it for his mother, and you never let your mother down. But if Brian Clark's knee holds up, look out for him too. Event 1, back sprint. Athletes start in the official reverse set position. They run backwards to the finish. Any athlete who runs outside of the lane will have humiliated himself.
So we're ready to go in event number 1, and in lane 1, Rodrigo Perez, an unknown quantity but quietly confident. Back sprint, not his strongest event though. Lane 2, Adam Horder, the defending champion, and he won't let his title go without a fight, a big favourite in the heat. Lane 3, Brian Clark, a finalist last year, never stops battling, but will his knee hold up to the rigours of competition? Lane 4, Malik Jevons, pro basketball player who promised so much last year, reached the final but then injured his ankle. Is he the man to tame Adam Horder? Away they go then, the first event of this year's International King of Sports, and a very close start. Going round the bend, it looks to me as though all four are still ahead. Adam Horder beginning to pull away though as they enter the straight. Malik Jevons is staying with him, Brian Clark in third. But Clark is beginning to make a comeback here, and he's reeling Jevons in. Horder's still clear. Not far to go now, but Clark keeps gaining ground. Can he catch Horder on the line? Oh, what a finish this is going to be. Desperately close, and that's That's a photo finish. Absolutely impossible to call. Wonderful start to the event. And even the replay inconclusive, but it looks like Clark's foot crossed the line first. An incredible win for him. He defeats the defending champion.
Well, Brian, a bit of a shock really, because it looked to me from where I was standing that Adam had got that. You must be delighted to win the first one.
Yeah, absolutely delighted. It's important to get off to a good start because some of the events coming up aren't my stronger ones, so it's important to get off to a good start. To be honest, on the line, I couldn't tell. I mean, all you can do is look at that slow motion replay. Very close.
You must be brutally disappointed by that.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind having a look at the replay, but clearly if the guys up there in the camera room have had a look at the replay and they see Brian as the winner, fair play, I can't argue with that. It was pretty close. I thought I had him, but I didn't. What a shame.
A great start for Brian Clark as he nicks it from Adam Horder. Jevons third and Perez brings up the rear. Brian of Britain is our early leader, but the defending champion is right behind him.
Men's individual fall down. You must fall down as fast as possible and smash your face into the pad. The slowest man each time is eliminated.
Well, Malik, you competed in this in the final last time out. What is the technique?
Well, it's not really, for me, it's not really a technique. I say it's just the luck of the draw. The quicker you can anticipate the gun being fired, I think the faster you'll be able to get down. That's the main thing, anticipation.
And a bit of bravery too, because you've got to thump your head into that sensor pad.
Oh yeah, it's either bravery or no sense at all. One or the other. You know, for me, hopefully it's bravery.
Four athletes make their way through the crowd then. Perez, Horder, Clark, then Jevons. Horder furious with himself for losing the back sprint, and he'll be looking for maximum points here. Remember, the slowest man to fall is the one who's eliminated. Set. And it looked like Jevons to me. Yes, he hears the news. Jevons is eliminated. Round two then. 3 in it now. It's close again. But it's Perez who goes out.
Rodrigo, how do you feel after that? Because I thought with your size you might do better than third.
Yeah, I was thinking the same because when I was practicing, I won my practice hit and everything, and just the gun, you just have to pay attention to the gun at all times. And then the last one there, I think I missed for like a second or even less than a second, so I think that's why I faded.
And so to the final fall down, and the two big guns, Horder on the left and Clark. Oh, not much in it. We'll need to see that again. And yes, it's Horder who wins. Very close, but sweet revenge for the champion. A real battle on our hands here.
You got a few fans back there, Adam, and good to see Australia winning something for a change, but you must be delighted to beat Brian, especially after what happened in the first event.
Yeah, he's an outstanding athlete, isn't he, Brian? I mean, I took it to him in the 200, he came at me, I had nothing left there, and today the two of us are head to head, and I just pipped him today, so maybe that's one each. Next three are going to be a bit tasty, aren't they?
Revenge for Adam Horder as he takes maximum points, second for Brian Clark from Perez and Jevons. All square at the top for old enemies Horder and Clark. Perez and Jevons level at the bottom.
So, with two events gone, last year's finalists Adam and Brian are tying in the lead with 7 points each. We've now moved poolside for one of the toughest events in International King of Sports, the pool hang.
It's endurance pool hang. Athletes must hang on for as long as possible, like a pair of rotten plums. If you fall off, you get wet. Get used to it, buddy.
Mark, pool hang is a brand new event to International King of Sports. Endurance is the word. Would I be right in saying that?
You would be right. Some of the guys are talking about using the orangutan technique, which is alternate arms, and I would not recommend that. Very good event for anyone who does a bit of rock climbing with strong fingers and wrists. The brachioradialis muscle in the forearms will be under a lot of pressure, and there's hundreds of muscles in there. Once they start to twitch, there's only one way to go, and that is down. The first semi-final saw Rodrigo Perez fight off a brave hang from Malik Jevons, textbook hanging from Perez, and even time for little showboating. Disaster for Britain's Brian Clark in the second semi. Adam Horner through to the final hang-off. So it's Clark against Jevons in the third and fourth place hang-off.
You join us 1 minute into the battle for third and fourth place between Malik Jevons and Brian Clark. Clark is in real contention in this heat, desperate to score good points, but this is not really an event for big men. His bulk could work against him here. Anything around 1 minute, 1 minute 30 seconds is great hanging, but Clark looks to me as though he's in trouble. I'm not sure he can hold on any longer, and he drops in at 1 minute 27. So Clark in fourth place, Jevons is third.
After the break, the final of the pool hang, Tangi human slalom and goodbye friction in international skids.
Never mind the final countdown, this is the final hang-off. Adam Horner against Rodrigo Perez. Perez in the all-yellow kit on the left of your picture. I must say he's looking very relaxed, very confident, imperious almost. Horner's really got his work cut out in this event, but he's a great champion, a guy who never gives up. He's already seen his big rival Clark pick up just 1 point. But look how relaxed Perez continues to be. Deep in concentration. Strong arms needed obviously for this event, and massive determination. A little wink of confidence from Horner. It's grip strength that often lets you down here. Perez seems to be an absolute natural at this event. He's light and yet he's phenomenally strong. And really, look at him now, he looks as though he could hang there all day. Horner's doing well though. Don't discount this fellow. Just trying to see exactly the state of his rival, and he won't like what he sees, because Perez continues to look supremely relaxed and confident. I'm not sure about Horner. 1 or 2 signs there that he's weakening perhaps. Certainly not Perez. Horner grits his teeth. He's struggling, he's adjusting his grip, and that's always a sign of trouble. He's had another look at Perez, trying to put him off perhaps, but nothing's working with this guy. Perez oblivious to the problems of his rival here. He could be asleep. Slight readjustment from Perez, but he's in control. A little wink there, and his rival blows him a kiss. I think Horner knows the game's up now, and in he goes. He tried everything, but Horner simply couldn't match the incredible Rodrigo Perez.
No doubt about the winner, a maximum 4 for Rodrigo Perez. Second place for Adam Horner, disaster for Brian Clark in fourth. Horner goes 2 points clear of Clark, and the Brazilian Perez is beginning to challenge.
We've come to Sudley Hill for this next event. It's the Tangi human slalom. Now both Adam and Brian were very strong in this event last year, but this year the officials have set a much tougher course. This is the one that Brian really wants and really needs to unseat the king from his throne.
The 10G human slalom. Athletes have to run down a big hill, passing through all 10 gates. If you miss a gate, you're out. Touching the gate post is allowed, but don't knock it down or I will be furious with you.
Well, guys, you've all got a chance of making it through to the final. Brian, I'd be very concerned about your knee, the reconstructive surgery that you've had. Downhill running can't be good for it. What's the thought?
Like you say, downhill running is probably one of the worst things I could possibly do after my knee operation. A lot of it's on the quads, and 6 months ago my quad was exactly half the size it is now. But been working on it in the gym. Course was very steep, a lot of turns, so we'll see how it goes.
Adam, how would you compare this course to the course that we had last year? It does look a little bit more difficult to me.
Yeah, it certainly is, Mark. A lot more technical, actually. So you've got to sacrifice speed, slow it down, get through the gates safely and carefully, pick the speed up when you come out of the gates, and, well, last 50 metres, really turn it on, and it's about the only time of the course in which you're not turning left or right.
Rodrigo, fantastic in the pull hang, but what about this discipline now? What's the approach to it? It must be a bit different to that one, obviously.
It's completely different. I was expecting it would be more agility, but it's not that much. It's just speed, and I'm sure everyone here going to have their speed because you're just going downhill. But like he's saying, the turn, just have to pay attention for the turns and tight turns. I think we do it.
Technique just as important as speed here. The Brazilian Rodrigo Perez knows all about that. Ready? And off he goes. 4 points in the pull hang means that Perez is still very much in this competition, and he really fancies this human slalom event. Showing wonderful technique, I must say, around the corners, and really pacey between the gates. He'll be looking to set a really fast time here. Anything around 33 seconds would really lay down a target for his competitors, and he's going well. Got to push it on now, and he does. Final time 32.91. That's superb.
Rodrigo, hard work. Tell me about your technique there, because I noticed you were putting your hand down for the early turns.
Yeah, because I was trying to kind of slip my feet and put the hands to go cut faster into it. I wasn't really slipping, so I hope I did a good time doing what I was doing.
A disappointing 35.53 from Malik Jevons, the American visibly losing confidence, but that was followed by an even bigger shot. Horder, the big favourite, the defending champion, seemed out of sorts and ran way below his capabilities. 33.66 for the Aussie, slower than Perez, and with Brian Clark still to run.
Started off too quick, mate. Too quick into the corners. Technically very poor, actually. Had the speed, but of course the course demands a bit of respect. I gave it none, and I got caught out. I really got found wanting on that one.
So a real opportunity here for Brian Clark to pick up points on Horder. He wants to beat the Australian's time of 33.66 desperately, but his knee could be an issue. He's a big man, 6'2", 14.5 stone, former professional footballer with Chesterfield, and that knee problem could affect him in this event. Above all, 0.17 on Perez at the halfway stage. He's got to keep pushing on now. He's ahead of his rival. But this is really difficult when you've got an injury problem like he has. He's a battler, and his final time's going to be good. 33.27 to beat Horder.
Brian, you look pretty exhausted, but you must be very pleased with the time. You've beaten Adam Horder.
Yeah, pleased with beating Adam. Coming down the hill, turns I found very difficult. It's painful, gritted my teeth, but didn't have the power in my quads to drive off. I still could have gone quicker.
A second successive win for Rodrigo Perez. Britain's Brian Clark second and Horder disappointed with third. One event to go, 1 point separates the top three. Adam Horder leads from Clark and Perez.
Okay, we're back at the stadium and it's a straight three-way fight to the final. Let's see who goes through in international skids.
This is international skids. It is so simple. You must make the great big long skid down the track, but if you fall over, then your skid is counterfeit.
Mark, we come to international skids, everybody's favourite event, but I believe it's new and improved international skids.
Yes, it is. It's a much faster surface. It's super slick. It's super shiny. In the old days, it was virgin olive oil, extra virgin, of course, they put down here. Now it's xanthan gum, which is food thickener, which really is lightning. So we could see the world record go.
Here's the Brazilian Rodrigo Perez. A great skid, could win the competition for Perez, and he knows that. He's not too happy about the technique needed for this event. He's certainly got speed. Got to keep his balance, of course. Got to keep both feet in contact with the skid surface, and there was a little wobble there. The judges might need to have a look at that, but they've declared it legal. 33.35, good but not great. Ryan Clark loves the skids, and he thinks that he could even take the world record here. It stands at 44 meters 18 on this very fast track, and I have to say this looks a wonderful skid by Clark. He's sailing out, keeping his balance brilliantly and beyond the world record distance. A sensational skid, 47.57.
Well, Brian, that's an amazing first skid. Your thoughts? Did you feel you had that in you?
To be honest, the track's very fast, and at this stage of the competition, the first skid, I'm not getting excited because that distance will be beaten today.
The Australian Adam Horder has it all to do here. If Clark wins the skids, he'll win the whole event. Horder has to beat the new world record of 47 meters 57. Surely that's beyond him. But this looks like another amazing skid. It's long. It's fantastically long. Oh, this is unbelievable. 50.61, another new world record. What a competition. And that puts the pressure right back on Clark.
Adam Brian Clark set the target, but you've risen to the occasion. Incredible.
Yeah, look, Mark, you know, what a skid, mate, you know. I hadn't done that in training, and I'd never done that before, and it just come off nicely, you know.
Brian Clark. No one improved in the second round of skids, so it all comes down to the final skids. And Clark here has to set yet another world record to overhaul Horder. 50 meters 61 is the mark to beat. And I tell you what, I think he's going to beat it. It's a sensational skid. He's gone beyond 50 meters. He smashed the world record. Fantastic. Waiting for the distance to be confirmed. 57.76. Has he put himself in the final?
Well, Brian, they talk about throwing down the gauntlet, and you really did manage to produce it there. Again, where did that come from? Because Adam Horder looked like he had you beaten.
Well, as I said earlier, the world record was going to be broken today. Very fast course, and even though I've got a big distance there, I wouldn't say it's over yet.
Perez had no answer to Clark and Horder, so only two men could win the heat.
And so the Aussie Adam Horder has to beat Clark, or they'll be on level points, and Clark will win because he's had more first places. Horder has to beat 57 meters 76, but we've seen such incredible feats from Horder before. I wouldn't discount it, and it looks a great skid. Slowing now, slowing dramatically, and he might struggle to get to the 50-meter line. I don't think he's done enough. We'll have to wait and see the exact distance from the judges. It's 50.89. A sensational result here, because that sees the reigning champion dumped out of the competition. What a performance then by Britain's Brian Clark. He never gave up, and his reward is a place in the final and a celebration skid. And England have beaten the Aussies.
Well done, Superman. A sensational performance, and to beat the defending champion Adam Horder, you must be feeling fantastic.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's always going to be the man to beat. The reigning world champion. To beat him the final event, I knew he was strong at it. I knew I was strong at it, and it was always going to go down to the wire. Today, I came out on top. Last year, Adam came out on top.
A wonderful first heat sees the champion Adam Horder defeated. More first places sees Brian Clark win the heat on countback. Clark takes the first place in our final. Horder currently the highest scoring loser.
Well, what can you say about Brian Clark battling through the pain barrier to go into the final yet again? Adam Horder, defending champion, he's devastated to go out, let himself down in the Tangi slalom. Rodrigo Perez, I'll miss him in the final because he was the human bat in the pool hang.
And that's it from us today. So join us next time when we put 4 more athletes through their paces on International King of Sports 2004.